Hey, welcome to The Grove, everyone. Thanks for joining us online. We're happy that you're here with us. My name is Scott Swanson. I am the pastor of spiritual formation, and I am joined today with...
I'm the Serve the World intern for Paul Gunther Jr., and I'm so excited to be here today.
Hannah Edgiston.
Yes, Hannah Edgiston.
Edgiston. I always got to work on that. Okay. Well, hey, there's a lot going on here happening at The Grove. There's a lot this month that we're going to get to in a minute, but I just want to start by mentioning a couple things that are happening here first. Today is Baptism Sunday. So at noon, we have a baptism service today over at the Justice College pool, and we're super excited. We have a number of people that have already signed up that are ready to take this next step in their faith journey, and we are thrilled to be a part of that with them. And if you haven't signed up yet, it's not too late. You can just join us over there, put some trunks on, put a t-shirt on, grab a towel, and come on down. Now, I know what you're thinking, like the pool is probably a little cold over there, right? But I did a little recon. Jesus was baptized in the Jordan River, right? As we all know.
Yes.
The Jordan River. So first of all, right now, I mean, that pool is maybe in the 60s.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not too bad. 60s, maybe low 70s. Jordan River, get this, peak time 55 to 63 degrees, and it gets as cold as 45 to 50 degrees.
Wow.
So all the people, Jesus himself, all the people with Jesus, they're all getting baptized.
All getting in the water.
We're going to call it 50 degrees. 50 degrees. And we're at least in the 60s over there. So we're not even fully like Jesus, but we're getting as close as we can. So
baby
steps. That baby. So that is today at noon. And we're excited about that. So the other thing we have coming up in a few weeks, December 12th, is our Christmas Art Fest. So this is a tradition, annual thing we've done for many, many years, and it's outside here on the courtyard. It's a great time. We have multiple artisans that set up all their displays. It's a great time to do Christmas shopping, pick things up for people. We have live music that goes on throughout the night. What else do we have?
We also have snow.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super fun, especially because we live in the desert. So for all you lovely kids who have never seen snow, would love to experience, come on down and have your little taste of a winter wonderland.
Oh. Winter Wonderland, yes, a big pile of snow. So it's going to be a ton of fun, get some food trucks and all that good stuff. So that's December 12th. Love for you to be a part of that. Now, today kicks off something very, very big for this whole month. Hannah, tell them what's happening this month.
Yes, so all of the month of November, we are kicking off our Serve the World month, which is really important for the Grove because we love going locally and serving also the world. So we're really excited about that. And our theme for Serve the World this month is Go, Do, Love. And we're going to be serving the community in different aspects, and we're super excited to do that. So we're going to have different trips as well that go into that. So.
Yeah. We're excited to bring some of those back.
Yes,
we've obviously had to put our trips on a bit of a hiatus for the last couple years, of course, and we're really looking forward next year to getting back out there in the world and serving. So tell them some places that we're going.
Yeah, so some places, as we've gone in the past, we're going to Malawi and Liberia. So we're really excited to get back into the swing of things of going there.
Yeah, we're adding some new ones. We're going to, what's the new, Guatemala, Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And then locally still, of course, our Live Love Downtown Chandler, Sacaton. So yeah, we've been doing a little bit with Mexico, and we're going to be doing even more with that. So we're super excited about bringing that. And
so a lot of different places for all the different types of places that you would like to go.
Yep, and if you're interested in being a part of one of those trips, you can sign up starting today, I think, right?
Yes, so actually, if you'd like to sign up, click the link in the description, and you can sign up to go to the launch meeting that we will be having next week to get some more information about all the different places that we're going.
Yeah, and with this month, we've got some awesome merchandise here. I'm going to try to model this model this. So we've got our theme. Here's our theme. This is showing up okay. Our theme, Go, Do, Love with all of our places. So this is obviously a hoodie. Okay.
And it's hoodie season, so.
It's hoodie season. And if you're thinking, no, way too warm for me, we also have t-shirt season.
T-shirts.
It's also t-shirt season. Yes. And the prices for these now, completely forgot to ask what the price is. So we're just going to call that one maybe, what do you think Paul would have set for that? I'm guessing he probably would have done 20.
Yeah, 20 bucks.
20,
25.
And this one probably would be about 200 is my guess. Probably 20 and 200.
On a good day.
Is what I'm thinking. So you can pick up some of those. What else do we have? With our Serve the World month, we have our Thanksgiving box drive. Every year, this is a key staple part of our Serve the World month. And so we've got boxes available starting today that you can pick up and fill up. The menu of what to put in there is on the box like normal, and then you can bring that back on in a couple weeks on the 21st. But if you're at home, and you're watching at home, right, and you're unable to get a box and to bring it here and to do all that in person and the whole thing, you can click, there's a QR code on your screen. You can click that, and this year is the first time that we've done this. You can pay for a box online, and then someone else will go and fill it with everything that's needed.
Very
and then deliver it to a family. So if, for some reason you can't get to a box and do all that, you can purchase one, and we'll fill it up and deliver it to a family. So, hey, tell them what's happening next week.
Yes, so next Sunday is actually our Empower Girls Sunday. So we're really excited to kick that off and to focus on women and girls empowerment and bringing them up not only locally but globally also. So
yeah, Convoy of Hope focuses on this, and so on that next Sunday during our service, there's going to be an opportunity where we can give to Empower Girls, and that will happen through Convoy of Hope. So we're excited for that.
Which is a great organization that we've worked with in the past. So we're really excited about that. Also next Sunday, I know all of you all are really excited after Sunday for Sunday brunch. So right after service, we will be having market foods and food stalls all around outside of the grow field right here.
Yeah, well, these ones right behind us.
If you can see them, yeah.
We purposely did our set here so you can check out the setup behind us here.
And they are, we're going to have food from all different countries. So we'll have food from East Africa, Liberia, Thailand. So we can bring those countries to you here at the Grove.
Yeah, all the places that we're going to.
Yes, all of the places that we're going to.
You get a taste of the authentic cuisine. I think that's the word.
Authentic cuisine. That's perfect.
Cuisine is the word that we're looking for.
Yes.
So that is next. So next night is a big Sunday, obviously. So we've got.
Don't miss out.
No, that market, all that food is right at noon.
Yes.
And then immediately after that, I believe at 1 o'clock, but immediately after that lunch, we have our kickoff meeting in here. This is where you can get more information about all of our trips, get your questions answered that you have about those trips themselves. Hear some stories about what actually happens in those places and what we do in those places.
Their testimonies too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll also be serving merch there too. So
yeah, so that's all next week. And then on the 21st, November 21st, if you do get a box, that's when you can bring it back, right, and return that, and we're going to go deliver them.
Yes, we're going to go into the community and bring Thanksgiving to people's homes, so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, we've had a great opportunity the last few years to not just get food for those families, right, these Thanksgiving boxes, but then to be able to go and partner with the leaders in our community here and help facilitate along with them delivering these to families that have requested these meals. So so it's going to be a big month. There's a lot happening. Today's a big kickoff to this. Next Sunday is when things really get happening with our food and our kickoff info meeting and all of that.
It's one of our favorite months, so we're really excited about it.
So hey, hope that you can make it down for one of these weeks. Next week would be a great week to come on down and be here if you can. If not, so glad that you can always join us online or wherever you're from. I know some of you are other places around the world, so obviously you can't come down today or next week or any week for that matter. But you can join us at least online, and so we're thrilled that you're here and are a part of it. So today, as we kick this off, we've got some great worship that's planned inside, like usual. We have Palmer's going to be kicking off our series today, talking about Go, and we're excited for it. So get your coffee, grab your Bible, and join us as we get ready to worship.
Welcome.
You see my victory. shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, as you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I fight on my knees with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet, and I sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. So good to worship with you this morning. Welcome to the Grove. God is at work in this place this morning. Do you believe that? I've lived stories that have proved your faithfulness, and I've seen miracles my mind can't comprehend. And there's beauty in what I can't understand. Jesus, it's you. Jesus, it's you. And I believe you're the one to work in God. You're the one to work in God. All the miracles I've seen, too good to not believe. You're the one to work in God, and you heal because you love. All the miracles we'll see. You're too good to not believe. Too good to not believe. I can't resurrect a man with my own hands, but just the mention of your name can raise the dead. And all the glory to the only one who can. 'Cause Jesus, it's you. 'Cause Jesus, it's you. And I believe you're the one to work in God. You're the one to work in God. All the miracles I've seen, too good to not believe. You're the one to work in God, and you heal because you love. All the miracles we'll see. You're too good to not believe. Too good to not believe. After everything I've seen, too good to not Everything that's happening in your life right now, God knows about it. And there's nothing that our God can't do, amen? We've seen cancer disappear. We've seen broken bodies healed. Don't you tell me he can't do it. Don't you tell me he can't do it. We've seen real life resurrection. We've seen mental health restored. Don't you tell me he can't do it.
Good morning, welcome to the Grove. Go ahead and have a seat. Hey, today, right after this service, we're having a baptism in our Justice College houses right over there. You leave that door, walk straight over. If you want to be baptized, you can still be baptized. You can register online or just look for one of our pastors. Again, that's just right after church. Just head over there. Whether you're getting baptized or not, we'd love for you to join us. And then this Wednesday, our art class is kicking off. Barb Ross, as in Bob Ross, but Barbara, yeah, okay, I got it. Good. Third service, just now figured that out. We'd love for you to come be a part of that. If you have any ounce of, what'd you say?
Yes. He forgot. You have to sign up in the lobby. You can't just sign up in the lobby. Art class is tomorrow. I'll be there. You gonna come?
So what I was gonna say was, sign-ups are in the lobby. I was just getting ready for that, but that's fine. Go ahead. You do a much better job than I do. I was actually going to say it. Concert next Sunday, the 14th. Josh, go ahead. There's a concert next Sunday. Aaron Shoes, I don't know if you've heard of any of these guys.
Jason Gray, Ryan Steve. Oh, my mic doesn't work. Aaron Shoes, Jason Gray, Ryan Stevenson. They've all come to the Grove. They're amazing artists. It's going to be an amazing night right here in this room. And it's next Sunday. You should come to that too, Paul.
Can I go? Okay, cool. It's Serve the World Month, so we'd love for you to come the rest of the month. If you haven't been here, this year our focus and theme is Go, but we're going to be launching all of our missions trips off again. We're going to be going to new places like family trips to Mexico, Man Camp to Mexico, Reconcile trip to Mexico, Malawi trip in February, and in June, Lebanon is kicking off. All of these different trips we're going to be slowly launching throughout the year, and it's exciting because I've had the people living in those countries texting me all morning. I wish they texted me money. All morning saying we're so excited for the Grove to come and join us and be with us again. Next weekend, the 14th, if you came in this way, you saw that little village that we built out there. That's going to be food stalls with food from every country that we go to. We're also going to have a huge tent covering the lawn, and at 12, we're going to kick off all of our trips. And so we'd love for you to come and just at least listen, because I think 2022 is going to be a good year. I said that at 2020 and at 2021, but I think I'm right this time. So Josh, you can go ahead and talk now if you want.
Thank you, Paul. I'm excited for this month, guys. I feel like if you've been at this church for a long time, you know that Serve the World Month really captures the DNA and heart of what this church is. And if you're new to our church, you're going to experience really what the Grove is all about. This is a missional church. It's a big reason why I came out here from Texas, was because I wanted to be a part of a church this missional. And if you want to see God work in your life, then put yourself in places where heaven and earth are colliding, right? If you want to see your heart become more like God, you want to see your personality become more like Jesus, then put yourself where all that amazing work is happening, where heaven is just smashing into earth. And so much of that is happening in the places where missional work is happening. We have missions that we do all over the world. And this is an opportunity for you to get your hands a little dirty. I remember the first Sunday I came to the Grove, somebody came up to me and they said, "Are you ready to get your hands dirty?" And I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you might not like it here, because we want to do things for Jesus. We're going to go out and live the gospel and get ready to get your hands dirty and be the hands and feet of Jesus." And that's what it's all about, because Jesus told us to go out into the world and share the gospel. And so we're going to do it with the way that we live and the way that we help others. If I think about the most impacting moments in my life, some of the most impacting moments are times like when I went to the Dominican Republic and I sat in the little hut of a family who had 10 kids. And they were telling me their kids walk 2 miles each way to go to school. And they have to cross a river both ways. And the kids they felt so blessed to even be going to school. I'm like, man, my kids, it's hard to even get them out on time. They have to wake up early. It's times like going to Cambodia and stepping into the tiny little home, little mud hut of a family there. And they had nothing, but the woman, she had one of her kids climb up their coconut tree and cut down a coconut. And they gave me a coconut because it's all they had. I mean, that's generosity. She gave all that she had. It's things like going to Rwanda and Africa, and I got to bring my 5-year-old daughter, and seeing her heart come alive and seeing a change in her that I see to this day. that she's passionate about helping people, and she has empathy for others and wants to change the world. And so I want to encourage you to get your hands dirty, to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to join one of these trips, to be a part of this missional church and going out. We're going to change the world, and it's going to be one person at a time. But when we put a whole lot of people together, then we can change a whole lot of world, right? I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. So would you stand with me right now? Let's sing this together, because imagine if we lived a life with a posture of availability, where instead of saying, no, I'm too busy, I can't do that, I've got too much going on, I've got work lined up for the next year and a half, what if instead of saying we're just too busy, we said, God, I'm open for whatever you want me to do. And even if it throws a wrench in my plans, I'm available, so send me, send me. Here I am, Lord, send me. Sing that with me. Here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, Lord, send me. When I get to the end of my life, and there's a few people that gather together and remember me, I hope the first thing that comes to mind wasn't, well, he played guitar okay. You know, I hope that the first thing that they remember is not, well, he was really busy all the time. I mean, those things might be true. But I hope the first thing that they think of is, he really loved people, and he showed it. I mean, don't you hope that that's what people look back on you and remember? Not what we did with our life, not the thing we called our vocation, but that people would remember how much we really cared about other people, how much we gave when it was hard, when we were just generous, and we lived the gospel that we preached. We lived out the life of Jesus. Imagine that. That's what I hope for. Here I am, Lord, send me. Sing it out. Yes, here I am, Lord, send me. Sing it loud right now. Yes, here I am, Lord, send me. We want to go. Here I am, Lord, send me. Just the same. And here I am, Lord,
And I'm standing in your glory. I'll be glad I chose to say, here I am, Lord, send me. Well done, good and faithful. I live to hear you say, here I am, Lord, send me. Here I am, here I am, Lord, send me. Shout it out right now. Here I am, Lord, send me. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes, 'cause I love you. I love you. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes, 'cause I love you. I love. Open up our hearts right now. We want to answer your call, Lord. We want to go wherever you want us to go. Send us out, Lord. Send us out, Lord. Here I am, Lord. Send me. Sing that out. It's here I am, Lord. Send me. Come on, fill this place. It's here I am, Lord. Send me. It's here I am, Lord. Send me. Shout it out. Here I am, Lord. Send me. Here I am, Lord. Send me.
Amen, church. I hope that as you sang those words this morning, here I am, Lord, send me. If you didn't mean it, you're going to regret that by the end of today. Anyway, I hope you meant it. Those words, here am I, send me, maybe you know this, come from the prophet Isaiah. And God had said to Isaiah, who can I send? And Isaiah said, here I am, send me. God said the same thing to Moses, I need to send you. And Moses said, here I am, send Aaron. That's what he said. He said, hey, he'll do better than I will. Today, as we start our Serve the World month, this will be our challenge to go. This is our theme for the month, go. I hope that this month you are willing to say, here I am, Lord, send me. As we start this morning and I see our cameras, I want to say welcome to everyone who's watching from home around the Phoenix area, around the world. You're part of our Grove family. This challenge of here I am, send me, and to go is for you as well. Our text today is going to be Acts 16 because Paul he is out on his missionary journey, and while he's out, he gets this call. And I want to invite you today to the adventure. I'm going to call it the adventure of a lifetime. If you ever want to live a daring life of adventure, then say, here am I, God, send me. And this is what happens with Paul. Verse 9, a vision appeared to Paul in the night. A man from Macedonia stood and pleaded with him, saying, come over to Macedonia and help us. After he had seen the vision, immediately we endeavor to go. I like how it says immediately. This idea of go, this is and start the adventure of a lifetime. This idea of go is a Bible essential. From the beginning pages of the Bible, God has always been sending his people out, saying, I have a message for you to take out. I hope you grab onto it. When Jesus was here, he kept saying this over and over. Matthew 28, he says, go and make disciples of all nations. Mark, go into all the world and preach the good news to all creation. Luke, I am sending you out, not somebody else. When the disciples were huddled and afraid, he says to them in a room, he says, go and you'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And so I hope today and over the course of this month to make you a goer, someone who's willing and ready to go. And this is kind of flies in the face of, for the last 18 months, we've been hearing, stay home, stay away from other people. Don't leave your house, let alone leave the country. But we are going to say, okay, but the people around the world are yelling out like we just read in that passage, come and help us. And God's people always have to live with this going sense in them. As I say go, what does that mean? It means, and by the way, if you're new to the conversation at the Grove, new to our family, we talk about us being a missional church, a missional people. That means that every day you are sent on mission to represent Jesus Christ, no matter who you are or where you are. That's not just for professionals, it's for you. But this idea of go means you go first to your neighbor and your neighborhood. God puts people right around you where you live right now that he wants you to go to. Going means that you go to your friends and your family. All of us in this room have family and friends who do not know Jesus Christ. And he is sending you to them. When is the last time you talked to them about their relationship with Christ? Going means that you are willing to go to not just your neighbors and your neighborhood, but to your coworkers and to your clients. And that's a dangerous one because now you have to have a reputation that backs that up. When we keep reading in this text in Acts 16, after Paul gets this vision, he goes to Macedonia, he goes to the capital of Macedonia, and he meets a woman there named Lydia. And this woman, Lydia, when he goes to Macedonia, she's a well-known business person, and she runs a successful textile distribution business, and he meets her. We read that the gospel spread, the good news spread through her and through her business contacts. And so when we talk about you going, I want to challenge you, everyone who has a job here today, to go to your coworkers and to your clients. That's what go means. And then we're going to challenge you to go across borders and fly over oceans, because as Jesus says here, you are sent to the ends of the earth. So here's where I want to start. I want to start with this idea that go is your invitation to the adventure of a lifetime. And let's be straight and honest here. You're going to have to go somewhere if this is going to happen, because you're not going to find any kind of adventure of a lifetime in Chandler or Gilbert, Arizona. It's just not going to happen, all right? We live in a very safe, calm community. I mean, things get crazy a little bit this time of year. We have schneff farms. That could be daring. I don't know about that. We have the tumbleweed Christmas tree. That gets exciting. We have the ostrich festival. Don't get me wrong there. Carnies are dangerous. But that's about as daring and dangerous as life. We live maybe in the most safe place in the world, because in Arizona we don't have earthquakes, we don't have tornadoes, we don't have hurricanes. We do get the occasional haboob, and that's got to count for something. But let's be honest, for the most part, you have to go. If you want to experience something dangerous or an adventure, it's not going to start here. It's going to start somewhere else. One of my favorite lines in the Bible is out of Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11 is called the Hall of Faith, because the writer of Hebrews goes through all of the people of faith in Scripture. And when the writer gets to Abraham, and the writer is quoting Genesis chapter 12, it says that when God called Abraham to go, listen to this, Abraham went, even though he did not know where he was going. How do you like that? Have you ever gone somewhere even though you didn't know where you're going? If you want the adventure of a lifetime, then when God says go, then like Abraham, my challenge and invitation to you is to go, even though you don't know where you're going, even though you don't know how God is going to use your life. I know this is a going essential because I've seen it happen in my life a number of times, but I think back about 10 years when we first went to Haiti after the earthquake, and what happened is when the earthquake happened for 5 days, no one in our country would go to Haiti. No one from our government, no one from the largest nonprofits, no one from any church would go. Everyone kept saying, we are assessing the situation to see if it is safe. We'll go when it's safe. So finally, after 5 days, on a Sunday morning, Paul Gunther and I came on the stage of the Grove, and we said, we know they need doctors and nurses in Haiti. So even though nobody else will go yet, if you will go, if you're a doctor or nurse, please come with us. And so 3 days later, we had 10 doctors and nurses. And we couldn't fly into Port-au-Prince, so we flew into Santo Domingo in Dominican Republic. We drove up near the border, and a friend of mine leads a ministry there in Bajarona, about 30 miles from the Haitian border. So we spent the night there. And when we got there, there were some other Americans who had gathered to do ministry, they said, and to treat people on the Dominican side of the border. But we were heading for Haiti. That's where the earthquake was. And so when we got there, these other Americans said, what are you guys from the Grove doing? I said, well, tomorrow morning we're going into Port-au-Prince to see how we can help. And they said, well, you can't go to Port-au-Prince. And I said, why? They said, well, it's not safe. It's dangerous. They said, you might get carjacked. You might get robbed. You might even end up as a hostage. By the way, church, can you please keep praying for the 17 missionaries that are held hostage right now in Port-au-Prince? I think it's 17. I could be wrong on the number. But please be praying for them. They're still held after about 3 weeks. But they said there's flooding at the border. You'll drown if you try to cross. And I was like, all right. So after all that encouragement, I called a team meeting. I pulled everybody outside the building, all 10 doctors and nurses. I said, all right, we're leaving tomorrow morning at sunrise. And they said, but the people said we can't go. I said, well, first of all, we don't work for their nonprofit. Secondly, I rented my own Durango. All right, so we're going to go. So the next morning at sunrise, we drove up to the border, and there was a hospital on the Dominican side. So I thought, well, let's stop here. At least our doctors and nurses can see if they need help. And sure enough, there were people with amputees laying under trees on mattresses. As they treated them, I started looking for anyone that was going to Port-au-Prince. I didn't know how to get there. So I'm looking for someone that we could follow. And I heard this American guy, you can hear the Americans really quickly when everyone else speaks Creole, and he's talking to someone about an orphanage. So I go up, I said, hey, tell me where you're from and who you are. He said, well, and he told me his name. He said, I lead a radio program out of Knoxville, Tennessee, called the Radio Bible Hour. And I said, well, are you going into Port-au-Prince? He says, yes, there's an orphanage we sponsor in Port-au-Prince. I'm heading there. So I said, can we follow you? He said, no problem. Meet me outside in 15 minutes. And so I rounded up our crowd, and we got in my Durango. And then this guy from the Radio Bible Hour, he walks over to our car, and he has a roll of red duct tape. This guy came prepared. And he started putting duct tape, red duct tape on our windshield. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm putting a red cross on there. I said, okay, go ahead. So he puts a red cross on the windshield. And then he said, okay, when we get to the border and all the checkpoints, just lean out the window and yell, Medico, Medico. I said, that's Creole for, I said, for what? He said, it's Creole for doctors and nurses. All right, Medico. So we got that down. So we get to the Haitian border, and Paul's yelling out one window, I'm yelling out the other, Medico, Medico. And we just kept going, and it worked. And it worked at every checkpoint. And we're going, even though we don't know what God wants us to do. We went even though we didn't know where we're going. And God opens a way. And this man leads us to an orphanage where the orphans are sleeping under a tarp. And not only did I tell our friend there, Johnny, that we just got to meet, I said, we'll be back tomorrow with food. We brought them food for the next month. Our medical team treated the ones who were sick. We headed out after that. But my point is that many times we don't know where we're going. We don't know how God is going to use us, but we go in spite of that and let God open the door as we go. You never know what adventure God has next. My father used to preach one of my favorite sermons he titled, Move Out or Miss Out. And I think he's right, that God opens a door of divine opportunity, and we can either stand and look at them, or we can go, move out or miss out. I think God always, when he gives us opportunities to serve him, he starts with go. We usually begin with wait, I'll think about it, I'll pray about it. God, let me see if my insurance will cover this. God always starts with go. If you want the adventure of a lifetime, then when God says go. I think so many times I've heard people say, well, Palmer, this isn't the right year. They'll say, I'll go when I have enough money. Can I tell you this right now? You will never have enough money. Some will say, I'll go when I have more time. You will never have enough time. Or I'll go when things get easier at work. Things will never get easier at work. Some of you, I've heard people say, I'll go when the kids move out of the house. The kids will never move out of the house. It's just, that's how it's going to go. And I simply want to say that if you want to live this Bible imperative, this Jesus imperative, this God-given imperative, then say go. God, I'm willing to go even though I don't know where I'm going. One of my favorite reads is Erwin McManus's Seizing Your Divine Moment. If you don't have a copy, you need to buy one. And he writes, if your church is full of members, you'll get an occasional missionary. If your church is full of missionaries, the rest is about geography. So go, even though you don't know where God is going to take you next. Here's my next challenge to you, is to go, it's worth the risk. So if we keep reading in Acts chapter 16, we see that Paul meets Lydia. We read that the good news starts to spread. And then like just about every city that Paul goes to, he gets in trouble. So let's pick up here. The crowds joined in the attack against Paul, all right? So if you're wondering, what is it going to be like if I go even though I don't know where I'm going? Well, you just might get attacked by a crowd like Paul. So the crowd joined in the attack against Paul and Silas, and the magistrates ordered them to be stripped and beaten with rods. After they'd been severely flogged, they were thrown into prison. And then if we keep reading, we read that there's an earthquake at midnight. The chains are broken off all of the prisoners. The prisoners want to escape, and Paul says, hey, we're prisoners. Let's have a little integrity here. Let's everybody stay, and so they do. And then the jailer comes in, and he thinks everyone's escaped, so he pulls out a sword, and he's about to kill himself. I mean, this is the adventure of a lifetime and that Paul is on. And Paul says, no, stop, and he spares the jailer's life. The jailer insists that he comes to his house, so they jailbreak for a few hours. He goes to the man's house, and not only does the man feed him, but all of his family receive Jesus, the message of Jesus Christ, and Paul baptizes him. By the way, stay for our baptism afterwards. The question is, what risk are you willing to take in order to go? Because sometimes we say, I'll go if it's safe. I'll go if I know everything will work out okay. I just want you to say, I'll go, God, even though I don't know where I'm going. And I want to say it's worth the risk. I'll say it's worth the risk of your reputation. Why do I say that? Because if you determine to be a person who starts to speak about Jesus Christ in your workplace, for example, your reputation is on the line. If you start telling coworkers and clients that you are a follower of Jesus Christ, then now you have to live it. Your reputation is on the line. The way you act, you better have more integrity. You better have a better work ethic than anybody else in the workplace when you start talking about Jesus Christ. My challenge to you, if you start saying to your coworkers and to your clients, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, then your life has to back it. My challenge to you is to start holding Bible studies after work. Start inviting your coworkers to work. Use it as the place that God can use you. When I say be a missionary to your workplace and neighborhoods, you risk your reputation. If you are willing to say, I will go no matter where you take me, God, then you need to be willing to risk your safety. I get that question a lot when we start taking people out of our country, even across the border to Mexico. I get the question, is it safe? For example, a few years ago, I had a gathering of college students at the Grove that were interested in going to Malawi. And so there was, 2 or 3 dozen that came students, and then one mother. And it's pretty awesome when your mother shows up to a meeting with you. College students love that, actually. And so we sit down, and I can hardly get through my material because this mother keeps raising her hand and asking the "is it safe" question. She first says, "Hey, Palmer, do you think my son will get malaria?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so, because we'll be taking lyrium now. He's going to have nightmares. He'll be dreaming about snakes and spiders in his sleeping bag. But that's just a side effect. It's an unfortunate side effect, but he's going to be fine." And then she says, "Well, speaking of snakes, do you think my son will get bit by a snake?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think your son's going to get bit by a snake. It's all going to be okay. He might see a snake or kill a snake, but he's not." Then she says, "Is there going to be a coup d'etat? What are the chances that there's going to be a military uprising?" I go, "No, the chances are low. Things are good right now." And then she asked me this question. She says, "Have you ever left anyone behind?" And I thought, wow, shoot, I guess I have. And so I told her, when I was a youth pastor in LA, I had taken junior hires to Knott's Berry Farm. And then when we got back to the church at midnight, I had left a junior hire. And so I did leave the kid behind. But I'll tell you what, if you have 100 junior hires and you get 99 back, it's like herding cats. I think you did pretty good. I think the odds are with you. You've done well. The parents weren't too happy. So I tell her this, and then another student said, "No, Palmer, she's not asking about that. She's asking, have you left anyone behind? Has anyone died on your trips?" Ooh, I was like, no. I said, "No, God has protected everyone, at least that we've taken so far." But I'll tell you this. I finally said to her, I said, "I can't promise you that it's going to be safe," because she kept asking the "is it safe" question. But here's what I told her. I said, "Listen, if you trust God with this, your son's life will be changed forever. He will not be the same person when he comes back. He will see God use his life in new ways, in better ways than he ever has before." And I've seen this happen in the life of person after person from the Grove when they say, "I'm willing to go. It's worth the risk." I think all of us ask that question. Can I just say this? If you go with us at the Grove, there will be risk, and it won't be comfortable. It won't be easy, and it won't be comfortable. You will sleep places you never thought you had to sleep before. You will eat things you never thought you had to eat. Speaking of eating, before we moved to Chandler, I was living in Malawi with Veronica and our 4 sons, and I was teaching at African Bible College. And one Christmas when we were there, one of the academy teachers had his parents come to visit from America. And when they came, we wanted to get to know them, so we invited them for dinner. And Veronica told this young teacher, she said, tell your parents that I'm making tacos. Well, tacos, they didn't know this. Tacos were a big deal in Africa because you can just go to the store and buy all the supplies. It was a 2-day effort to make tacos. So 48 hours before this dinner, Veronica is prepping the refried beans, all right? She's soaking them in water. She's cooking them, putting them in the refrigerator with some kind of thing mixed in. I don't know what she did for 48 hours with the beans, but it took 48 hours to get the beans. And then that day of the meal, she started early in the afternoon rolling out dough to make tortillas. You can't go to the store and buy refried beans. You can't go buy tortillas anywhere. So she's making the tortillas by hand one at a time. This was a meal she made with her heart and with love. For 2 days, she's working on this dinner. Finally, this couple with their son come over for dinner. They sit down at the dinner table. I pray. I start to pass the food around the table. And the mother and the father go, "Oh, we're fine. We're not hungry." And they just pass the dishes. "We're not going to eat tonight." They said, "We're already full. We ate our granola bars before we came over." I was like, what? I banned granola bars on all of our Grove trips, by the way, because when you go, it's worth the risk. I think there's a lot of times that we try to follow God, and we think, I'll go if it's safe, I'll go if it's comfortable. I want to say, no, God, I'll go, and I'll go wherever you need me to go, even though I don't know where I'm going. I'll say this next. When you go, the going changes you. And I say this often, that when you give your life away to change what is not right in this world, God will change you. Give your life away to change this world for good, and God will change you. I've seen that time and time again. It's a Bible regular. For example, later in Acts, we read about Peter. And Peter like Paul, he has a vision. And God is sending him also. But instead of to Macedonia, God is sending Peter to a Roman man named Cornelius. And at first, Peter is resistant. He's saying, I don't want to go. That's a Roman man. I don't care to go tell him about Jesus Christ. And God keeps saying, no, I need you to go. And then Peter says the most interesting thing when he finally goes. And by the way, Cornelius insists that Peter come into his house. I love that part of it. And when Peter comes in, he says, now I see. And now I see. Now I see. God has opened my eyes, but God doesn't open his eyes. God doesn't change Peter until he is willing to go. And I think there's a part of our spirituality, there's a part of our spiritual transformation that does not happen until we go and we step into the homes of the broken and we spend time with people who speak different languages and eat different food. I don't know what those people thought my wife had put in the tacos. I don't know if they thought it was snake meat or bat meat. I don't know why they wouldn't eat the tacos that night. But going, when you go, it will change you. I know this is a fact, not because just because I've seen it dozens and dozens of times in the lives of our people here at the Grove, but when I was a college pastor in Wheaton, Illinois, right next to Wheaton College, the college did a survey of students who were 5 years out of college. And one of the questions on the survey was, what had the greatest spiritual impact on your life during your 4 years at Wheaton College? The overwhelming number one answer from the students was, when I left the college and left the country to serve God somewhere else. That's what they said changed them. That changed them more than all the chapel services, all the sermons they heard. It changed them more than all their Bible and theology classes. It changed them more than the college pastor down the street did. That was me. But leaving the country and serving God had the greatest spiritual impact on their life. I want to say it's the same for you. Until you go and serve God somewhere else and say, God, here I am, send me, use me. There's a part of your spirituality that will never be complete, that will never mature. Go because God wants to change you. And then I want to say this morning, go, the world is crying, come help us. I really like this line. It's a very simple line in our text. If we go back to verse 9, we read, during the night, Paul had a vision of a man of Macedonia standing and begging him, come and help us. And the Grove, from our very inception, we made this commitment that we would be a church, we would be a people that would go to the most desperate people in the most dire place. We made that commitment early on. That when we heard the cry, come and help us, that we would go. And I just want to say this year, it's very easy to say, well, I'm going to stay. And I want to say, no, come and help us. That's been our response for almost 20 years since I first got here. For example, after, some years, about 5-6 years ago, when there was an Ebola outbreak in Liberia, a really good friend of mine, a pastor named Eliezer, he sent me an email. He said, Palmer, he said, please, can your church help us? He said, when the people from my church go into the latrine at night, they're barefoot or they're wearing flip-flops and they're stepping in human waste and they're contracting Ebola and they're dying. Can you bring shoes? I shared that with you when he sent that email. And on one Sunday, you brought more than 12,000 pairs of shoes. You did that. And then we shared those. We can applaud that. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. And then you went there and you shared those in Eliezer's churches, village after village after village, until we had passed out 12,000. This pastor in Haiti, after we had gone, even though we did not know where we were going, I met a pastor named Phileas. And this pastor, when I visited his church on the mountain the first time, his church had collapsed during the earthquake. His house had collapsed. And the whole time I'm visiting with him, he's pleading. He's saying, do you think your church, The Grove, could rebuild our church? And finally, this is after several hours, I said, Pastor, I don't make promises I can't keep. I don't know if we can do that. I said, but your house, if we're going to do anything, his house was collapsed too, by the way. And I said, we'll rebuild your house first and maybe your church. I said, I'll let you know what we can do. I came back here and I shared the need and you did it. You came to help. You gave $22,000 and we rebuilt Pastor Felix's house. And then right after that, you gave $70,000 and you sent people to not just rebuild his house, we sent more people and you rebuilt his church. Thank you so much, Grove. Thank you for doing that. And Sacaton, just down the road here, it's not very far. And it was the first time I had been there. And I met Paul Gunther, introduced me to the school, elementary school principal. And when I met her, we're just talking about their school. And then she says, can you help us? It was near Christmas time. I said, what do you need? We can try to help. She said, well, right now we've had a number of kids in the ER because they have pneumonia. Their parents don't have enough money to turn on the heat at night. So they're getting really cold at night, and they're getting very sick, and they're ending up in the ER with pneumonia. She said, I'm trying to give every kid in school a blanket before Christmas time. I said, well, how many kids do you have in elementary? She said, I wrote down the number, 657. Can you get, she said, can you get some of those blankets? I said, well, let me see what I can do. I came back that Sunday and shared it with you, and you, the people of the Grove, showed up, brought back in the next Sunday, 657 blankets. Thank you for doing that. Thank you when someone says, can you please help us? You've always been a church that will do that. And I want to say this, that sometimes we can't see the need. We don't hear the cry until we go there. One of the things I love about this text is that it says, Paul had a vision of this man in Macedonia. He sees the problem. He sees the trouble, and then he goes and he responds. So I want to invite you to go, if nothing else, to come and see the trouble. Because when we sit right here in Chandler and Gilbert, it's very hard to see the problem somewhere else. And I've shared this saying before. It's from Haiti. We see from where we stand. If we only stand in Chandler and Gilbert, you'll never see the trouble somewhere else. You'll never hear the cry, come and help us. If I stand right here in Chandler and Gilbert, for example, just a half a mile down the street, it's hard. I say that because it's hard to see the problems of extreme poverty or understand what world hunger is like. Because if you just stand in Chandler and Gilbert, a half a mile down the street, we have Olive Garden, Chili's, Backyard Taco, McDonald's, Weiss's, Rubio's, Panda Express, Subway, Denny's, El Pollo, Wendy's, Del Taco. This is on one corner here, one corner. Old Chicago Pizza, Village Inn, Osaka, The Broken Yoke, Panera Bread, Zupa's, In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, Streets of New York, Native New Yorker, Longhorns, Red Lobster, Jimmy John's, Elbow Macaroni, and Ecstasy on one corner. So do you see why I say you have to go? You have to get off the corner that we live on. You have to go see what the trouble is somewhere else. God will open your eyes when people say, come and help us. When one of our trips to Haiti, and I've been, half a dozen to a dozen times, we get off the plane, we get in the van, we're heading to the orphanage, and we hadn't been more than a mile from the airport when the woman on one of the seats behind me, I can hear her crying. I said, why are you, what's wrong? She says, I didn't know it was this bad. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, look, and outside we're at a stoplight. She said, look, she says, there's girls my daughter's ages, they're like 10, 11, 12-year-old girls. She said they're standing there cooking corn and selling corn. She said they're not in school. She said, now I see the problem. And I just want to say that to you too, that sometimes if we just stay, we don't see the trouble, we don't know the problem, God can't use our lives, and so go. I want to end with this line from Paul, and it's this: go, the going, it starts now. In verse 10, he says this: after he had seen the vision, immediately we endeavor to go. Often God gives us an opportunity and we wait. And I simply want to say, go. Now is the time. This going starts now, not next year, not another year, not next month. I want you to think about going now. I have this key idea to take home with you on the screen. Let me just read it before we go. In the name of Jesus Christ, wake up and enlarge your vision. By the way, key ideas are supposed to be like 7 or 8 words long. I got carried away here. In the name of Jesus Christ, wake up and enlarge your vision. Dig deep for courage. Spread your wings and go. Rise up above this limited life because you live a one and only very important life. And discover the adventure of pursuing God's global plan for using your life to change this world for good. Church, I want to ask you to do something. On your seat, there's a small piece of paper there. And I want you to, could I steal one of those from you? This piece here. So either you're sitting on it and you don't know it, or it's on the chair next to you. Could you take that in your hand? And I want to invite everyone in the room to do something. I want to invite everybody here to do. So there's also a Sharpie near you. Take the Sharpie from your neighbor, or there's one sitting on this seat, or share one. And take this Sharpie and do something very simple. I want you to write your name on this. Your first name, your last name. Write your name. Would you do that? And then once you've written your name, on the back of it, would you also write your email, all right? We want to be able to find you, if that's okay. So write your name and write your email. All right, now I want to invite everybody to stand. And if you're writing, keep writing as you stand. You can stand and write at the same time. Everybody up. Everybody stand. As Josh leads us in this song that he's written, "Wherever you send me, I will go," are the lyrics to his song. I invite you to take this piece of paper and walk up to our map up here. We have a map of the world that Barb has drawn. And we have all of the countries called out that we're going to over the next 12 months. We have Guatemala, Liberia, Malawi, Lebanon, Mexico, Thailand, Chandler, Dominican Republic, Sacaton. I want you to take your name. And this isn't for somebody else. This isn't for a few of us. This challenge is for all of us. This call to go wherever you send me, I will go. That's for every one of us here. Will you walk up here with this piece of paper? We have thumbtacks, and then you place that, stick that on the country that you will go to. Maybe you need 2 or 3 of these. That's okay. Put 2 or 3 of them up there. Church, let's do that together. We talk about being participants here, not spectators. So today you're a participant. Walk this way with me as soon as you write your name.
I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. And I want to love with the heart of my Father. And I want to see through the eyes of my Savior. I want to reach out with the hands of my Healer. So my life is more than words. I want to be where you're at work. Heaven touches earth. So many broken, so many hurting. I know it breaks your heart to see. So many hopeless. So if you can use me, I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I know you will do great things. I wanna be your hands, I wanna be your feet. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. And I wanna love with the heart of my Father. And I wanna see through the eyes of my Savior. I wanna reach out with the hands of my healer. So my life is more than words. I wanna be where you're at work, where heaven touches earth, where heaven touches earth. Your kingdom come, your kingdom come, your will be done, your kingdom come, your will be done, your kingdom come, your will be done. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. And I wanna love with the heart of my Father. And I wanna see through the eyes of my Savior. I wanna reach out with the hands of my healer. So my life is more than words. I wanna be where you're at work, where heaven touches earth, where heaven touches earth, where heaven touches Would you guys sing that out with me? Sing. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. Come on, shout that out. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead, I'll go. And I wanna love with the heart of my Father. And I wanna see through the eyes of my Savior. I wanna reach out with the hands of my healer. So my life is more than words. I wanna love, and I wanna love with the heart of my Father. And I wanna see through the eyes of my Savior. I wanna reach out with the hands of my healer. So my life is more than words. I wanna be where you're at work. Your kingdom come. That's what we're living for. Your will be done.
That's all we want. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Your kingdom come, and your will be done. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Your kingdom come, your will be done. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead us. I'm ready to follow wherever you lead us. And I want to love with the heart of my Father. And I want to see through the eyes of my Savior. I want to reach out with the hands of my Healer. So my life is more than words. I want to be where you're at work, where heaven touches earth, where heaven touches earth. Just give God thanks this morning. Wow. That's a globe full of world changers right there. We're also, guys, we are so fortunate to have the best missions pastor, I think, in the world. He calls himself the pastor of adventure. Paul, you're gonna have a busy year next year.
It's going to be awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much. We've needed this moment here at the Grove for a couple of years, so thank you. We are excited about this next year. As you leave, we have baptisms going on right after the service in the Justice College house. If you haven't gotten a Thanksgiving box, you can get them this week and next week, and then bring it back on the 21st. And have a great week. Thank you so much for being here.